Before this speech begins, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. How much of your life have you sacrificed just to avoid being judged? How many dreams did you delay because you were afraid of what people might say? How many opportunities did you miss because you feared rejection? How many times did you stay silent, play small, or hide your true potential just to fit into a world that was never designed for greatness? The painful truth is this. Most people are not poor because they lack talent. They are not weak because they lack ability. They are trapped because they care too much. Too much about opinions, too much about criticism, too much about pleasing people who are equally confused about their own lives. And while they spend years trying to be accepted by everyone, their confidence slowly disappears, their ambition fades, and their dreams quietly die in silence. But there are a few people in this world who discover a dangerous kind of freedom. The freedom of not needing approval, the freedom of protecting their peace, the freedom of walking away from negativity, the freedom of chasing greatness without apologizing for it. Those people become unstoppable. Because the moment you stop allowing outside opinions to control your mind, you unlock a level of confidence, focus, and inner power that most people never experience in their entire lives. This message is not about becoming cold-hearted. It is not about ignoring wisdom or refusing growth. It is about mastering your emotions so completely that negativity no longer controls your future. So, if you have ever felt judged, misunderstood, rejected, or held back by fear, then stay with me until the very end of this speech, because tonight you may finally discover the mindset that changes everything forever. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in an invisible prison called approval. They wake up every morning worried about what family members think, what coworkers might say, how strangers may judge them, and whether society will accept their choices. This fear becomes so powerful that it silently controls their decisions. Instead of pursuing what truly makes them happy, they begin shaping their lives around the expectations of others. They wear masks to fit in, hide their real ambitions, and slowly abandon the dreams that once excited them. The tragedy is that many people do not even realize they are doing it. They believe they are being responsible, realistic, or socially acceptable, when in reality they are surrendering their freedom one opinion at a time. The need for approval is one of the greatest obstacles to personal success because it weakens courage and destroys individuality. A person who constantly seeks validation becomes emotionally dependent on the reactions of others. If people praise them, they feel confident. If people criticize them, they feel worthless. Their identity rises and falls based on outside opinions instead of inner belief. That is a dangerous way to live because public opinion changes every day. The same people who applaud you today may doubt you tomorrow. If your confidence depends on external approval, you will never have lasting peace or power. True growth begins when a person understands that not everyone will agree with their path, and that is perfectly normal. Every successful individual in history faced criticism, rejection, and misunderstanding before achieving greatness. People mocked their ideas, questioned their decisions, and predicted their failure. Yet the individuals who changed their lives were the ones who continued moving forward despite the noise around them. They understood that greatness requires independence of thought. When you stop asking everyone for permission to live your life, you begin to discover your real strength. You become more willing to take risks, express your ideas, and pursue opportunities that once terrified you. Instead of wasting energy trying to impress people, you start investing energy into improving yourself. You no longer fear judgment because you realize most people are too busy fighting their own insecurities to truly control your future. Approval becomes less important than purpose. Pleasing everyone becomes less important than protecting your peace. The moment you release the need to constantly be accepted, you begin thinking more clearly and acting more boldly. Your confidence becomes rooted in your values instead of public reactions. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop living as a copy of what society expects and start becoming the person you were meant to be. Freedom enters your life the moment you realize that chasing universal approval is impossible. And the people who achieve extraordinary success are often the ones brave enough to disappoint others in order to remain true to themselves. One of the greatest skills a person can develop in life is the ability to protect their energy. Every single day, people are surrounded by distractions, negativity, criticism, drama, and endless opinions that fight for their attention. Most individuals do not realize how much their mental and emotional energy affects the quality of their life. Energy is not only physical strength, it is emotional focus, mental clarity, and spiritual stability. Whatever constantly drains your mind eventually weakens your confidence, your motivation, and your ability to succeed. That is why highly successful people are extremely careful about what they allow into their inner world. They understand that attention is valuable, and where attention goes, energy follows. If a person wastes hours reacting to negativity, arguing with people, stressing over criticism, or worrying about things beyond their control, they slowly lose the focus required to build a meaningful life. Many people wake up already emotionally exhausted because their minds are overloaded with unnecessary noise. Social media arguments, toxic relationships, gossip, comparison, and constant exposure to negativity slowly poison their thinking. Instead of focusing on growth, goals, and opportunities, they become consumed by emotional chaos. Protecting your energy means learning that not everything deserves your reaction. Not every insult requires a response. Not every disagreement deserves your time. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Powerful people understand the importance of emotional discipline. They know that peace is a form of strength. They refuse to allow small-minded negativity to control their mood or direction. A person who cannot protect their energy becomes vulnerable to manipulation because other people's emotions begin controlling their decisions. One negative comment can ruin their confidence. One moment of criticism can destroy their focus. But when you learn to guard your energy, you become mentally stronger and emotionally independent. You begin choosing carefully who you spend time with, what conversations you entertain, and what environments you enter. You stop allowing toxic people to steal your peace. You stop carrying emotional burdens that do not belong to you. You become more intentional with your thoughts, habits, and surroundings. Successful individuals often appear calm under pressure because they have mastered the ability to conserve emotional energy for what truly matters. Instead of fighting every battle, they focus on their mission. Instead of reacting impulsively, they think strategically. Protecting your energy also means protecting your dreams. Negative environments can slowly convince people to lower their standards and abandon their ambition. That is why it is dangerous to constantly surround yourself with people who complain, criticize, and spread fear. Energy is contagious. The people around you influence your mindset more than you realize. When you begin valuing your inner peace, your confidence grows stronger because your mind is no longer crowded with unnecessary negativity. You think more clearly, act more decisively, and move through life with greater purpose. The strongest individuals are not the ones who respond to everything around them, but the ones who know what deserves their focus and what deserves complete silence. One of the most important lessons a person can learn in life is that failure is not personal. Most people experience rejection, disappointment, or setbacks and immediately connect those moments to their identity. They begin believing that failure means they are not smart enough, talented enough, attractive enough, or worthy enough to succeed. This mindset destroys confidence because it turns temporary setbacks into permanent emotional wounds. Instead of seeing failure as part of growth, they see it as proof of weakness. That is why many people quit too early. They become emotionally attached to outcomes and allow one difficult experience to define their future. But the truth is that failure is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply part of the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. Every successful person in history has faced rejection, embarrassment, mistakes, and moments of defeat. The difference is that successful individuals did not interpret those moments as personal attacks against their identity. They understood that failure is feedback, not a final judgment. A business failing does not mean the person is a failure. A rejection does not mean a person lacks value. A mistake does not erase potential. Failure simply reveals areas where growth, patience, and improvement are required. Many people are emotionally destroyed by setbacks because they expect life to move smoothly without obstacles. But success has never been built that way. Growth requires discomfort. Strength requires struggle. Wisdom requires experience, and experience is often gained through mistakes. The people who become mentally strong are the ones who stop fearing failure and start learning from it. They understand that every setback carries a lesson that can sharpen their character and prepare them for greater opportunities. When a person stops taking failure personally, they become more courageous. They become willing to take risks, try again, and continue moving forward despite temporary defeats. Fear loses its power because they realize that failure cannot truly destroy them unless they allow it to stop them completely. Many people stay trapped in average lives because they are terrified of embarrassment and rejection. They avoid opportunities, silence their dreams, and refuse to take action because they want to avoid failing in front of others. But avoiding failure also means avoiding growth. No great achievement is possible without moments of uncertainty and struggle. Failure is often the price of progress. It teaches discipline, resilience, patience, and emotional control. The strongest people are not those who never fail, but those who continue rising after disappointment. They refuse to let temporary setbacks become permanent identities. They separate their self-worth from their circumstances and understand that one bad moment does not define an entire future. The moment you stop taking failure personally, you begin operating with greater freedom because you are no longer controlled by fear. You stop seeing obstacles as signs to quit and start seeing them as necessary steps on the path toward mastery, confidence, and success. Silence is one of the most underestimated forms of power in the modern world. Most people believe strength is proven by always speaking, reacting, defending themselves, or winning every argument. But truly powerful individuals understand that silence often creates more impact than endless words. A person who reacts emotionally to every insult, criticism, or disagreement gives away control of their emotions to other people. They allow outside negativity to dictate their inner peace. Weak minds feel the need to constantly explain themselves, defend every decision, and respond to every opinion. Strong minds understand that not everything deserves a reaction. Sometimes silence is not weakness at all. It is discipline, emotional intelligence, and self-control. In life, there will always be people who misunderstand you, judge you, criticize your goals, or attempt to provoke you. If you spend your time responding to every negative voice, you become distracted from your real purpose. Energy that should be invested into growth and progress becomes wasted on meaningless conflict. Silent people often appear more powerful because they are focused, calm, and emotionally stable. They do not allow temporary emotions to control permanent decisions. They understand that peace of mind is more valuable than proving a point to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. There is a difference between speaking with purpose and reacting emotionally. Powerful people speak when their words create value, but they remain silent when speaking would only create unnecessary conflict. Silence protects energy, protects focus, and protects dignity. Many people destroy opportunities and relationships because they react impulsively in moments of anger, frustration, or pride. A single emotional reaction can create damage that takes years to repair. Silence allows a person time to think clearly before acting. It creates emotional distance from chaos and prevents temporary feelings from controlling long-term outcomes. In business, leadership, and personal growth, calmness under pressure is a sign of strength. The individuals who master their emotions often become the ones who lead others because people naturally trust those who remain composed during difficult situations. Silence also creates mystery and confidence. A person who constantly seeks validation through words often appears insecure, while a person who remains calm and controlled appears confident and self-assured. They do not feel the need to convince everyone of their value because they understand their worth internally. Many successful people have learned that silence can be more powerful than argument. Instead of wasting time proving doubters wrong through conversation, they prove them wrong through results. They allow success to speak louder than explanations. In a noisy world filled with endless opinions, reactions, and distractions, silence becomes a rare form of emotional mastery. It reflects patience, wisdom, and inner control. The ability to stay calm when others expect you to react is a form of strength that very few people develop. Those who learn this skill gain the ability to move through life with greater focus, emotional stability, and mental clarity because they no longer feel controlled by every situation, every criticism, or every voice around them. Confidence is often misunderstood by most people. Many believe confidence appears first and action follows afterward. They wait to feel fearless before starting a business, speaking publicly, chasing opportunities, or pursuing their dreams. But real confidence does not work that way. Confidence is not something a person magically wakes up with one morning. It is built through repeated action, especially in moments of fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. The people who appear bold and fearless today were once uncertain beginners who simply chose to act despite their doubts. Action is what creates belief. Every time a person takes a step forward despite fear, they prove to themselves that they are stronger than their excuses. That experience slowly builds self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Many individuals remain stuck in life because they are waiting for emotional certainty before taking action. They tell themselves they will start when they feel ready, but readiness is often an illusion. Fear disappears through movement, not through waiting. A person who constantly avoids difficult situations weakens their confidence over time because avoidance teaches the mind that fear should be obeyed. On the other hand, a person who takes action despite discomfort trains the mind to become stronger. Every challenge faced creates emotional growth. Every risk taken expands personal belief. Confidence grows when a person realizes they can survive rejection, failure, criticism, and uncertainty without falling apart. Action destroys fear because it replaces imagination with experience. Most fears become exaggerated inside the mind when a person remains inactive for too long. They imagine humiliation, disaster, and failure before even trying. But once action begins, reality often becomes far less frightening than the fear itself. The successful people admired by society are not people who never felt fear. They are people who refused to let fear stop movement. They made calls while nervous. They started businesses while uncertain. They spoke up while afraid of judgment. They acted before feeling fully prepared, and through those actions they developed strength that waiting could never create. Confidence also grows through consistency. Small repeated actions create momentum. A person who disciplines themselves daily begins to trust their own ability to follow through. That trust becomes inner certainty. People who constantly break promises to themselves slowly lose belief in their own capability, but those who continue showing up, even imperfectly, create a powerful mindset because they know they can rely on themselves. Action transforms identity. The more a person acts courageously, the more they begin seeing themselves as capable and resilient. Eventually, they stop identifying as fearful and begin identifying as someone who takes control of their life. This is why successful individuals often appear confident even in difficult situations. Their confidence was earned through repeated experiences of action under pressure. They understand that growth only exists outside comfort zones. Waiting for perfect confidence before taking action can waste years of potential. The people who achieve extraordinary results are usually the ones who move forward while still uncertain, trusting that courage grows stronger every time they refuse to let fear decide their future. One of the greatest truths about life is that your purpose matters far more than the opinions of other people. Yet most individuals spend years allowing outside voices to shape their decisions, limit their ambitions, and control their confidence. They become so focused on being accepted, liked, and understood that they forget why they were placed on this earth in the first place. A person without purpose becomes easily distracted by criticism because they have nothing greater pulling them forward. But a person who discovers a meaningful mission develops a different mindset. They stop allowing temporary opinions to overpower long-term vision. Purpose creates direction, and direction gives strength during difficult moments. Every successful person who has achieved something extraordinary understood that people will always have opinions. Some people will support you, some will doubt you, and others will criticize you no matter what you do. If you constantly change your path to satisfy everyone, you eventually lose yourself. The world is filled with talented individuals who abandoned their dreams because they feared judgment more than regret. They cared too much about appearing foolish, failing publicly, or disappointing others. As a result, they lived safe but unfulfilled lives. Purpose requires courage because meaningful goals often demand sacrifice, patience, and the willingness to stand alone. There will be moments when others misunderstand your vision because they cannot see what you see. There will be seasons where progress feels slow and criticism feels loud. But people with purpose continue moving forward because their mission matters more than comfort. They understand that opinions are temporary, but regret can last a lifetime. A strong purpose also creates emotional resilience. When a person knows why they are working, building, sacrificing, or struggling, they become harder to discourage. Challenges no longer appear meaningless because every obstacle becomes connected to a greater goal. Purpose gives pain meaning. It transforms ordinary effort into something powerful and lasting. Without purpose, people become emotionally controlled by every opinion around them because they lack inner direction. They drift through life seeking validation instead of fulfillment. But when purpose becomes clear, distractions lose power, gossip becomes irrelevant, criticism becomes background noise. The opinions of people who are not building your future begin to matter less and less. Purpose teaches a person to focus on contribution instead of popularity. Many people chase attention because they want to feel important, but purpose-driven individuals focus on impact. They are willing to endure misunderstanding because they care more about creating a meaningful life than gaining temporary approval. History repeatedly shows that the people who changed industries, communities, and even generations were often criticized before they were respected. Their belief in their mission was stronger than public doubt. The moment a person decides that their purpose matters more than public opinion, they begin living with greater freedom and authenticity. They stop shrinking themselves to fit expectations and start building a life aligned with their true values, vision, and calling. Instead of wasting years trying to please everyone around them, they invest their energy into becoming the person they were truly meant to become. As we come to the end of this message, remember this powerful truth: the moment you stop caring about unnecessary opinions is the moment you start taking control of your life. You were not born to spend your years seeking approval from people who do not understand your vision. You were born with purpose, potential, and the ability to create a future far greater than your fears. The world will always have critics, doubters, and negative voices, but none of them can stop a person who has mastered their mind and committed to their mission. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you have already outgrown. Stop doubting your value because of temporary failures or outside judgment. Your dreams are too important to be abandoned because of fear. Every successful person once stood exactly where you are now, uncertain, afraid, and misunderstood, but they kept moving forward. And that is what changed everything. So starting today, protect your peace, trust your journey, believe in your vision, and keep taking action even when nobody claps for you yet. One decision, one risk, and one moment of courage can completely transform your life. Never forget that confidence grows through action, strength grows through struggle, and greatness grows when a person refuses to surrender to fear. I truly hope this message inspires you to become stronger, wiser, and more fearless in your daily life. May you find the courage to stop living for approval and start living for purpose. Good luck on your journey toward success, peace, and personal greatness. Thank you so much for listening, and if this message touched your heart or motivated your spirit, make sure to follow and support my channel, Mind Wealth Theory, for more powerful motivational speeches and life-changing wisdom designed to help you unlock your highest potential.